A low-key ceremony marks the end of the American combat involvement in the longest war in American history. Keyword there being combat. No, the troops aren't leaving just yet, but yes, the original combat mission is changing. From what we're hearing from President Obama and his vacation home in Hawaii, he's preparing the country for this next chapter of American troops in Afghanistan. Now, while the official U.S. combat role is coming to an end, the dangers in Afghanistan are far from over. Nearly 13,000 U.S. troops will remain in Afghanistan, and they will be assigned to performing different counterterrorism missions and advising the Afghan troops there. The president said Afghanistan does remain a dangerous place where U.S. troops will continue to face risks from the Taliban. More than 2,200 American troops died in the 13-year war in that country. Well, a new year and new privacy concerns, this time surfacing in Virginia. The same story happening in states all over the country. For years, privacy advocates have warned about government spying on computers, laptops, cell phones, iPads. But now they're starting to warn you about your iPass or Easy Pass. Yes, it's that little white transponder you use on the toll roads you've gone through, and you've seen the cameras there recording things. Now, according to the Washington Times, Virginia state officials are tracking that data. They're looking at photos, they're looking at videos, and they're tracking the data, the math, how long it takes you to get from point A to point B to see if you're speeding. But that's not it. On I-95, they're also keeping that data. Still photos they're keeping for 90 days. Video footage they're keeping for 5 days on their servers. And they're doing all of this without anyone's permission. They store that on their servers, and those records right now are only available to state officials until after they get a court-issued warrant. But this is becoming a bigger story. People are watching how state officials monitor and keep that data in Virginia. In other news, Congress might be out on vacation, but that doesn't mean they're not still open for some threats. President Obama fired some warning shots at the new Republican-controlled Senate on Monday, threatening to flex his presidential muscle and use his veto powers on the right-leaning legislation that he expects to get across his desk in the coming years. Now, it's something he's only done twice in the last 6 years, but Obama says his veto pen could start to see a little more action in the next 24 months or so, especially if Congress plans to overturn laws on health care or the environment, two of his favorite topics. Now, incoming Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says bipartisan bills will, in fact, make their way to the president's desk, but he does warn the president's veto could cost Americans a lot of jobs. In response to Obama's threat, McConnell said, "There's a lot we can get done together if the president puts his famous pen to use signing bills rather than vetoing legislation his liberal allies don't like." And barely a week after two New York City police officers were gunned down in cold blood as they sat in their patrol car, Tunnel to Towers, a charity created after the September 11 attacks, has raised $250,000 for their families. That's about a third of what it would cost to pay off their entire mortgage for those two families of the slain police officers. These contributions pouring in from places as far away as Hawaii, Italy, the United Kingdom. The organization hopes to raise $800,000 to pay off those mortgages by New Year's Day. The money is going to the families of murdered officers Wenjin Liu and Rafael Ramos, pictured here. The foundation was created in memory of firefighter Stephen Siller, who died on 9/11 after running through the tunnel connecting Brooklyn and Manhattan to get to the World Trade Center.
South Korea is proposing to resume talks with North Korea amid the most recent hacking attacks. Tension has been high since South Korea's ally, the United States, blamed the North for recent cyber attacks on Sony Motion Pictures. The two Koreas had met earlier this year to discuss border altercations, but did not come to any conclusion. A letter was sent to North Korea by a South Korean official asking to negotiate reunions with families along with possible cooperation projects. The North has accepted the letter but has yet to respond. Over 6 decades has passed since the two Koreas began war against each other. Currently, the North and South are in an armistice. Malaysia is having its worst flooding in over a decade, killing 10 people, and 14 people have been killed in Thailand. Annual monsoons are common in the area, but this year the rain has been significantly worse. Nearly 160,000 people have been evacuated from their homes due to increasing flood waters. Malaysian government officials have reported that the rain will continue for at least another week. Although he is home now, Malaysian Prime Minister Razak was criticized for his absence during the catastrophe. Razak was seen golfing with President Obama during the natural disaster. The controversial drive-share company Uber has been under intense scrutiny this past year and is now planning a change. After accusations of sexual assault and failing to provide adequate licensing, the company has been banned in places all over the world. Berlin, Spain, and New Delhi have all decided that Uber must be illegal to operate. Uber is promising to change, and the company's head of global security recently reached out to express their concern with a blog. Uber plans to build new safety programs and intensify others. The company also went on to say that they have built the safest transportation option in 260 cities around the world. The company blog describes a map for the future, including better technology, background checks, service and support, and training partnerships.